It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.
And welcome into the EP Podcast. My name is Chris Lanuti. Another 30 minutes of good from Evergreen Park is here for you right now. And we've got some great guests for you. Later on in the show, Mark Phelan, village trustee, also a deacon over at Most Holy Redeemer. We just had the pastor there on this show a couple of weeks ago, and now we've got the deacon here, an assistant football coach of a program that won yet another championship, two of them if you count their JV and their varsity. So we'll talk about that. But really what we're bringing him in here for is to talk about the Evergreen Park Food Pantry. 'Tis the season to think about those that are less fortunate, that are your neighbors. And there's a few food drives coming up. We're going to talk about what the pantry needs. The episode recorded during the government shutdown. So you may notice that it sounds like it's still going on, but you should know that even though it's starting back up again, it's going to take a little while for things to get back to normal. So the food pantry really needs your help. It's a very important interview. We will be talking with him about that later on in the show. As for current events in Evergreen Park, and speaking with a trustee or a mayor, I didn't want to get in the way of the food pantry stuff, but I know that there are folks that have questions all the time about what's going on in the EP, suggestions, comments, concerns. The mayor of Evergreen Park will be on this show within the next couple of weeks. Still setting up the date for that. If you have a question, if there's something that you want to talk about, the best way to do it is through the website, theeppodcast.com. Go there. You can also subscribe to the show there, see all the different channels you can subscribe on. There's even a link to the YouTube channel, but all the podcast players are there. But there's a contact form, and there's also a place where you can leave a voicemail. That is the best way to get through to me. A lot of people try the social media. There are so many scammers on social media that send me so many, like, just scam messages to the podcast page. I don't see your messages because it's mixed in with like 100 scam messages. All right. And then I have like 5 or 6 podcast channels right now. So I have all of their scam messages. So when people try to send me stuff through social media, sometimes it gets lost. So if you want to make sure it gets to me, especially if you have a question for the mayor, go to the eppodcast.com and use that contact form or the place where you can leave the voicemails on the website. And that's how you're going to get through. On top of Mark Phelan, village trustee, guy who's the spearhead of the Evergreen Park Food Pantry, we're also going to CMS. Central Middle School has some astounding students that are out there that are doing such good things. 8th graders, we're going to sit down with 4 of them and hear about what they're doing, the projects that they're working on, the clubs that they're a part of, the changes going on at CMS, their feelings about the possibility that a new CMS may be coming to Evergreen Park, depending on what happens with that vote in March. So we got a lot of questions for them. We've never had the kids on just to ask them about their experiences over at Central Middle School. That is coming up here in moments. Before we get to that, remember Porter Cullen's over at 99th and Clifton Park has pairings every month that they add to their menu besides all the great food that they normally have. One of those pairings, a Phoenician salad, mixed greens, feta, cucumber, tomato, grilled grapes. You can grill grapes. Crispy chickpeas, cherry tomatoes, herb vinaigrette. You can put chicken in there as well for an additional cost. Pair that up with a blackberry gin and tonic. That is one of their top pairings for the month of November. Always some fresh choices and new things to try at Porter Cullen's. See more at portercullens.com. We kick off the show at Central Middle School now on the EP Podcast. Welcome into a special interview. I'm really excited to do this. The EP Podcast has talked with so many different people from Central Middle School before, but we've never talked with any of the students. And I have Marielle and I have Delaney sitting with me. How are you, ladies?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I'm good, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So 8th graders, correct? That's where we are? And very involved in the school. And it's one of the things that I have asked for a while is just to kind of learn from a student's perspective what the experience is like over at CMS. And so we're going to talk with you, and we're going to talk with a couple other students here on the episode today. So first off, tell me what you're involved in, because you started to list it for me as we sat down.
And I thought to myself, I was never that involved in anything when I was in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, because I went to a parochial school, and it was basically, kindergarten through 8th grade was in the same school, and I didn't even learn about getting in the clubs and writing for newspapers and doing student government until I was out and I was in high school. So it's amazing to me that at this level you're doing it. So why don't you start off?
I'm in the Project Tree program, where we combine with the high school, and I take advanced courses there for ELA and math. I'm in NJHS, which is National Junior Honor Society. I'm also in the Principal Student Impact Group, where we work to make CMS a better place. And then I'm in the Student Advisory Board with Dr. Woodland, where we help make our whole school a better place, like our whole district. And then I'm also in Student Leadership, where we help to plan and fundraise for our school. Okay,
I find that to be, I have one I definitely want to ask you about in a second, but first, Delaney, what are you doing here?
I also do National Junior Honor Society, and I also am involved in the sports programs.
Okay, so you're in a sports focus, Junior Honor Society, obviously very smart. They gave me the smart kids, obviously, today, so I got to keep my game up. So the advisory board with the superintendent, when they talk about this, it blows my mind. Because nobody cared what I thought when I was in the 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. And you're sitting around, and I think one of the things that you did this year was you figured out a new grading schedule or something. Tell me what you've worked on in just the last year with that.
Okay, so far this year we haven't done too much. We've done a couple things. We've added new clubs, which I can talk about that. But in the previous year, we worked on changing the grading scale so that it matches up with the high school's grading scale, which is great, so that like an A is 90 and above, and so on. And we've also made it so every kid who is in Project Tree will have it at their own school, and all students are able to have enrichment so that they can grow, so that they will end up or be able to maybe join Project Tree classes as well.
What does that feel like to you that they care enough that they want to know your opinion? Because, again, it's surprising to me. I mean, I would imagine you appreciate that is something that is not normal, but it's something that not only happens here at CMS, but when I talk with the folks over at the high school, where you'll be going, I would assume, after this, over at Evergreen Park Community High School, they also take a lot of student input. What is that like for the two of you?
I think that in these past couple years, we've been able to make improvements that we wouldn't have been able to make without student input, such as the grading scale, late work policies, and just different things that maybe teachers don't notice.
Have they asked you anything about the school as a whole? I'm sure you're aware of the fact that they're looking to the idea of not only improving this school, but the other 4 schools that are out there. Have they asked any kind of student input on it? I'm sure you have opinions, because I've walked through your school, and I've said this multiple times. I mean, I don't know if you've ever listened to or watched the EP podcast, but I have pointed out that I walk through the hallways in the school, and when all the doors are open, it's like a funnel, and you're all getting pushed together, and that can't be an enjoyable thing to begin with, and it's got to add to tension, and you're having a bad day, you bump into somebody, and that's just one of the things. I mean, there's so many different things that I'm sure you wish could be improved. You won't get to see it, but are they asking you about it at all?
Well, I haven't really been asked about it yet, but I had like surgery on my legs, or like on my knees for 6th and this year. And the elevator is like really rusty, and it's not always like reliable. Sometimes people get like stuck in it, and I just think that like it's already hard enough not being able to like go upstairs and stuff, but like also getting stuck in the elevator and then getting late to your classes, it's not the ideal movement.
If I got stuck in an elevator, I wouldn't even be worried about the classes. I'd be worried that I was stuck in an elevator. That's insane to me. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. So it's all about not only being a part of the school, but it's also about improving the school. That's what it sounds like. And so then, as a part of these groups and honor society and sports groups and things like that, is it something where you also have the students that know that you may have the ear of the superintendent be on this board, or that you may like be doing an event with the National Honor Society? Do you get other students that walk up to you and go like, can you talk about this? Do you get a lot of input? Do you get crazy ideas?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people will come up to me and just talk about maybe like different events they want to have at the school, different things they want to do to fundraise, and I feel like it's nice being able to voice that for them, especially with the new building. Actually, I had a couple people come up to me and say, the lunchroom is so loud, I wish there was a quiet place to go to in the lunchroom, and that's why I believe in the new design there will be a quiet space in the lunchroom for students to be able to go. Or like, I think we're also going to have an auditorium for the first time because so many students have voiced their opinion, and I just think that's an awesome thing.
You're getting towards the end, right? You're both 8th graders, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting towards the end here. You've had 3 years in this building. Tell me what you thought before you walked in the door about it and what you think walking out of it, because I'm sure it was nerve-wracking coming to a new school, but you both seem very comfortable while you sit here and you talk about it now.
Yeah, as the years went on, we kind of got more used to and comfortable to like our peers and our like new teachers. Yeah.
And now you're on a podcast, and you're like, what am I doing here? That's ridiculous. Walking out, I would imagine that you want to be involved when you get to the next level at the high school because you've been doing it here, correct?
For sure, totally, yeah. I'm really excited to like take the next step and grow as a person too. Like, our school community is so great. I genuinely like enjoy my teachers. They're amazing. I love like the staff, the principal, so I think it'll be a little nerve-wracking to go into a new place, but I'm ready to be able to grow as like a student.
And continuing our conversation, I have Bellamy, I have Shaden. Welcome onto the EP podcast. You just heard me talking with 2 of your classmates. What was your feeling when you first got to CMS, and how much did that change as now you're older, you've been here, and you'll soon be leaving?
Well, when I first got here, I wasn't as nervous as I was excited to be in a new environment, but it was like a teeny tiny bit of scared and anxiety because it was just like a bigger place to be in than my old school. But now that I'm here in 8th grade, I've just gotten so used to it, and I've gotten to grow around the people.
And it's a big school, and it's kind of a labyrinth, right? I mean, you have to learn how to get around this. That's one of the weird things about it. That's one of the things I think will get eliminated if and when they build the new CMS, is that it'll be a lot easier to get around the school. But this is like you go up, you go down. It's almost like passageways. It feels like Harry Potter's school, except it's not as cool, and there's nothing floating out of the paintings, correct?
Like in 6th grade, because I have been here before when my sister was here, but having to go to class and go out in the hall and like having all the 8th graders crowd me, and I was super short, so it was like super uncomfortable and nervousness, and then not being able to have my locker, and it wasn't a big locker. It was just super uncomfortable for me to be there. But I feel like I finally got the hang of it in 7th grade because I got taller, obviously, but also knowing how to get to classes and maturing and stuff like that.
What are you guys involved in? I'll start with you. Like, what are you doing right now? I would imagine you got involved in clubs. I don't know if it was sports. What are you working on right now here at CMS?
I'm doing student leadership, where we discuss having spirit weeks and different ideas that I do. So like right now, currently in the lunchroom, we're selling like little tags. So you could write a friend's name on it, and then we're going to deliver it maybe Friday to everybody, just to be thankful for your friends, and then we're going to give them a blow pop. But it's also a way to raise money for our dances that we're going to be doing, I think December 11th. But yeah, and different stuff like that. I'm also in the Student Impact Group, NJHS, National Junior Honor Society, and yeah. Okay, Bellamy?
I am in student leadership. I'm trying to think of the clubs that are going on right now, because I'll probably join the later ones. But student leadership, student principal impact group, Project Tree, and newspaper.
Okay, I was a newspaper writer. I thought that's what I was going to be. I was afraid to talk on a microphone, and then suddenly all of a sudden discovered radio in college and stopped being a newspaper writer. Is that something that you're super interested in doing? I mean, some people think that writing stories and doing the news is dying or dead, but for you to be doing it at this level, at this age, makes me think that you don't believe that.
Well, I feel like no, it won't ever die. Literature, writing, all kinds of things in that area won't ever die, I don't think. But currently in newspaper, there's like 2 sides of it. 3 sides. There's people who like go around interviewing people. There's people who write for our articles and people who draw. I feel like I'm more so in the interview or like artist side than writing. But the people who are in there currently, they're really doing well. I believe in them.
You're in a bunch of leadership groups. I heard the thing that you're doing also in the principals advisory group. How important is that to you, that you're able to affect change, talk about issues that are going on in the school? I would imagine sometimes it's nerve-wracking, though, because you're going to have students that are going to come to you with the problem that they want you to go talk about. So you become that person in the middle, and you got to kind of filter it all out. But tell me a little bit about what that's like and why you chose to do those things.
Well, I believe that student principal impact group is good because it kind of helps the students grow in a way. Because if you're in an environment where you're uncomfortable, anxious, scared, all sorts of that, then you can't really learn. So in our group, we help the students feel comfortable so that they can come to school and learn like they should be able to do.
You mentioned dances. They have dances still? Kids still do that kind of? They still do that? I mean, it was awkward for me. I mean, what kind of dances are we talking here? Is it all like just fast music? Are there still slow dances? Do you dress up for them? Tell me about these dances.
So the dance we're doing is going to have a theme. We came up with a snowball.
Okay.
So we're going to dress formal, and then we're going to go. But students can actually choose what they want to listen to. And then we look over and see if it's school appropriate, and then we do it. But slow dances, I don't believe we're going to have.
They don't do those anymore, right?
Because people are too uncomfortable to dance with somebody.
They used to make us do that.
Yeah.
They used to do that on purpose. They would have school dances. You'd be in the 5th grade and they'd be like, now it's time for a slow dance. Then you see, that's why your generation will not grow up with as much anxiety as Generation X, man. They put us through the ringer is what they did. All right, well, that's exciting. Snowball dance. I got an idea for you, all right? I mean, your principal's gonna be mad at me for this. They make these snowballs that are like they're like fluffy, like the.
Oh yeah, we looked over.
You need to get like 2,000 of those and just have a snowball fight during the dance.
That's
right?
what we were thinking about. But we're gonna have like a game area maybe.
Okay.
Because we have like this area. It's like we call it the flex room.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like a big area. We don't know if we're gonna put board games in there, or we could have like this tiny snowballs and like have a mini snowball fight with like a few people. But I don't know if we're gonna do that or not.
All right.
We did that last year, and it turned out okay. I think my mom had participated in that. Like she watched over the room, and if people thought that the main dancing area was getting too loud, they could kind of just go over there. I feel like we should do that again.
Awesome. We're coming up with ideas right here on the podcast. I love it. I love it. All right. So as you finish up your time at CMS, are there any goals here at the end? Is it all grades? Are there things that you're still looking to accomplish? Are there things that you still want to convince leadership to do when you go to one of these advisory councils? What are you guys looking to do over the last couple of months here?
Oh, well, for sure. I know I want to run for president of National Junior Honor Society.
Okay.
And I also want to keep sharing my ideas with student leadership because there's a lot of stuff that I want to get out before the end of the year. Because I feel like if I push all my ideas out now, I can get more ideas for high school, and it could just help me grow as a person. And, yeah.
All right. So still want to be active. You're not getting like what they do at the high school with the senioritis. You don't have 8th grade-itis. You're not like coasting till the end or anything else like that. You've got plans for your last year at CMS. Awesome. Very, very good. Thank you so much for joining me. I got to say this before I get out of here, and I'll say it while you're sitting here. I couldn't sit down on a microphone and have an interview with somebody when I was in the 8th grade. Honestly, I could not do it, and I definitely was not as involved, and I don't think there were as many opportunities to get involved when I was your age, and I think it really speaks to the fact that your generation has so many different things, so many different opportunities, but you take those opportunities, and I think that's great that you guys got yourself involved at your school. And it sounds like all of you are going to continue to be involved not only at this school, but in other things as you move up and get older. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. Incredible wine bar with so many selections. They're constantly bringing in new wines for you to try and keeping the familiar favorites. They have small plates. It's almost like tapas over there, but it's not just one style of food. You got to be there to experience it. You got to check out the new lunch menu. I can't find a sandwich on that menu that I don't love, and the new gaming room is open as well. Stop in to Spoken Vine for lunch, for dinner, for date night, for time with friends. Check out all of their events and their wine tastings at SpokenVineWines.com. All right, let's see what's going on in Evergreen Park. First thing I want to tell you about is the Sounds of the Season Christmas Concert. We talk about it every year. This year it's going to be December the 21st from 7 to 9 p.m. at Most Holy Redeemer Church, and the tickets are now available for this event that people clamor to get into at the Recreation Department. 3450 West 97th Street. Get in there and get your tickets while you can on a first-come, first-served basis. One-time pickup of up to 4 tickets per household at the Rec Department. Rich Daniels and his City Lights Orchestra and vocalists will be performing once again for the Sounds of the Season concert on December 21st. One of the great traditions here in Evergreen Park when it comes to the holidays. There's a mobile DMV, iPass on demand, and treasurer's office coming to Evergreen Park. Registration is now open for the mobile DMV coming to Evergreen Park December the 15th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. A 4-hour window at the community center where you can do all the stuff you would normally do at the Department of Motor Vehicles. And we all know how much we hate going to the normal locations for the DMV. You can get your driver's license, state ID cards, vehicle registration, and license plate stickers all available there. Appointments are required. You get those by sending an email to Sue Kerwin over at the Evergreen Park Village offices. S. Kerwin, SKERWIN at evpkadm.org. I hate when it's really hard to read off the email addresses, but I think you got that. Don't worry, it's a podcast. You can rewind back. The Illinois Tollway is also going to be on site providing in-person assistance with iPass stickers and account questions, and representative from State Treasurer Michael Fearich's office will also be available to assist residents with unclaimed property. Registration is not required for iPass on demand or the State Treasurer's office. All of it again happening on December the 15th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Also, one more thing you're going to want to know about, you're going to want to mark it down, you're going to want this information now, you want to get in on it while you can. Visits from Santa in Evergreen Park return December the 5th and run through Christmas Eve. This is again something you have to schedule, and eventually all the slots will run out. Santa will visit your Evergreen Park home to visit with the kiddos, scheduled in 20-minute intervals on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays throughout the season. Christmas Eve appointments fill up very quickly, so please book yours early. Santa's unavailable to travel out of Evergreen Park. This is for EP residents only. 708-229-3373. You can start making those appointments right now. And that is your EP podcast, Word on the Street, and we'll move on to our very next guest. I'm excited to have him here. And joining me in studio right now, I always feel fortunate to have this gentleman join us on the EP podcast, because I know that he is, while a boisterous person when it comes to coaching football locally, and when he's up on the pulpit as a deacon over at Most Holy Redeemer, he's got a big booming voice. He is sometimes reluctant to come on the show just because this is intimidating with all the microphones. Trustee Mark Phelan, how are you?
I'm great, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for taking the time.
I always like having you on because you're very insightful, and I love hearing what you're doing and everything else like that. But I know it's weird. It's the cameras, it's the mics. It's a weirdo in his basement asking you questions on a podcast. I appreciate you coming on and doing this with me. Before we get into what you're doing this month, it's always a big month for the food pantry, which you're the tip of the spear for. Really, I want to congratulate you. I understand that you've been coaching for so long over at Most Holy Redeemer. Redeemer, and another championship for that team, not only the varsity, but the JV. How many in a row is this?
This is the fifth one in a row for Matt Phelan as a head coach, and he's my nephew, and I'm proud to help him out coaching, and love coaching, love the kids, and it was a great time for Holy Redeemer last week because not only the two football teams won, but also two girls basketball teams won. So it was a great weekend for Raider Nation.
And that's a family thing. The Phelans as a family. I mean, there's so many of them over there helping out with that team. You're a football family, and you've been involved for a long time. How long have you personally been involved over there? Do you know?
Over 40 years.
Yeah,
coaching at Holy Redeemer, and three of my nephews are on the staff, and myself. So there's a lot of Phelans there, but Matt Phelan does a great job of leading us, and it's been a joy. It was my 9th gold ball myself, so very proud of Holy Redeemer.
What do the Phelans do after they win one of these championships? Is it a big party?
Well,
is it a whole weekend of fun?
A little bit of Baracos? A little bit of fun, yeah. There's some fun, yeah.
40 years doing it. I always marvel when it comes to teachers. I just ran into my 4th grade teacher from St. Denis just last week, Mrs. Rotman, or Miss Rotman. And she remembered me, and she was telling me stories about stuff I did in the 4th grade that I don't even remember. And I always find that amazing that teachers and coaches remember the kids when there's just so many of them. Are you still able to pick them out of a crowd even though they're older?
Sometimes, I have a funny story that one of our players, Colin Kelly, he was our star player this year, one of our star players and a great kid. And he showed up last year in 7th grade, and I said, Colin, I coached your dad. He goes, my dad? I go, yeah, your dad. So I coached his dad in 7th and 8th grade football, but that's just the way life goes, and I was proud to coach him, and he was a great player for Holy Redeemer.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate all you're doing over there, and I appreciate what you're doing with the food pantry. This time of year is always a time for food drives, and then you also have some families hurting a little bit more this time of year. The current political climate, no matter what you think of it, it is having an impact on families right now and the benefits that they're able to get. So I would imagine that things are a little stressful for you right now. What's it like over there?
They are a little stressful. We know with SNAP benefits being cut off from people, and being in Evergreen Park, you think, oh, it's middle class, people aren't hungry, but there's a lot of people who depend on SNAP benefits, and we had a 50% jump in patrons on Friday about a month ago. So we're serving over 100 cars with food every week on Friday. So our shelves are holding up, but it's a lot of work for all our volunteers. We've been blessed with the schools, and the churches in the area have been very great with bringing donations in. Local businesses have been great. The library has been bringing us food. All the Evergreen Park benefits. I know there's a new thing going on in Evergreen where people do a block drive, and we had a couple cars come early today with all kinds of food for us, doing them block drives. We've got a big drive coming up Harvest Sunday at Most Holy Redeemer on November 23rd. And it goes from 9:30 to 12, and we set up a drive-through drop-off. I get a lot of the kids get involved, some of the teachers. Jen Harmon helps me out. And we get about 20, I would say, pickup trucks full of food.
Just on that day?
Yeah, on that day alone. And get the kids come over to the pantry. They sort everything. They put everything on the shelves. So get them all involved. We're grateful to St. John Fisher that does drives for us periodically. St. Gianna, I know, is doing a drive for us during Thanksgiving time. I love Thanksgiving. I believe personally it should be a holy day of obligation because, I don't know, but we're all so blessed, and we got to be thankful, right?
Right.
And our shelves do balloon during Thanksgiving. But people need to not forget that there's people are hungry every day of the year. So I appreciate everyone who gives to us.
You
And,
know, one of the things that stands out while you're sitting there and you're talking about this is you're talking about block drives, you're talking about events that different schools are doing and all these different organizations throughout Evergreen Park. Are you ever taken aback by how many organized food drives get put together in just this area? We're 2 miles by 2 miles. This is not a giant community. It's a very small community, and even 2 miles by 2 miles is not even a square. Right. It's like a plus symbol because all the corners kind of cave in on the borders. So for something that small to be able to generate so much, what does that say to you?
You know, the south side of Chicago, there's nothing like it. I mean, whenever people are in need, people on the south side step up, whether it's someone's ill and they'll do a drive for them to get some monetary gifts, or someone's hungry. People in Evergreen Park step up. You know, they just don't get it on the north side. South side, sorry, south side gets
fine.
it.
That's fine.
We get it, you know, and we're out there helping our people in need, and that's what Christ taught us. So that's what we got to do.
And you get a lot of help as well from not only, you know, older people, but a lot of young people come over and help out at the pantry.
A lot of young people.
And I know a lot of them are looking for service hours, or they want to find something to get involved in. How do they help you out?
They help us out in so many ways. I mean, like the kids that come to us, they sort food. They make sure food is not dated. You know, people come to a pantry. Sometimes they're you know, they're down on their luck, whatever. I'm not giving them food that's dated. So I make sure that all the food is you know, all good and everything. And they get good things at our pantry. Every week they get a box, a bag, and about 3 pounds of meat, frozen meat. So they get eggs, they get milk, they get fresh bread in a box and with some other things. And then a bag has got a lot of canned goods, cereal, things of that sort. And then the big bag of frozen meat. So every week we have a delivery every month from the Chicago Food Depository. About 8 or 9 skids full of food, and all my volunteers put it on the shelves. So we're blessed that we have a drive-through service on Fridays where people pop their trunk. We put everything in the trunk and they drive out. We started that during COVID, you know, and we kept on doing it because it's an easy way of distributing food to a great number of people.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to help you, is there a way? Do they go over to the food pantry? Do they reach out? How do they get you?
They could call Beth Novotny.
Okay.
At Citizen Services, and she would sign them up. But we're pretty good right now on volunteers, but you know, we try not to turn people away. Same thing with, we are 60805 food pantry, so we're supposed to be for just Evergreen Park, but we never turn people away. If you come from Chicago, we fill up your trunk too, but we try to keep it just to Evergreen Park people. But I can't turn people away when the shelves are full.
No, you can't do that. You gotta when you see somebody in need, you want to help them.
People say I'm heartless sometimes, but I'm not heartless.
I don't think anybody calls you heartless. Are you kidding me? Like I mentioned to somebody just last week that I was going to have you on the show, and I can't even remember who I was talking to. And the woman I was talking to goes, "Oh, my son plays football for him. He didn't show up for a practice, and the kid was so upset, was so excited when he came back the next day." I think you have an effect on people. I don't think that you come across that way at all.
That's what I love about coaching football, and I try to bring the faith into football because playing football is a struggle, and our faith is a struggle, and kids seem to come to it pretty well.
And you mentioned Beth Novotny while I'm talking to you. I was looking up the number here. If you want to reach out to her, 708-422-8776 if you want the Office of Citizen Services, if you want to learn a little bit more. So what can people donate right now? What are you most in need of right now? If somebody's listening to this and says, you know what, I might not have my block putting together something. Right. I may not be able to be part of one of these food drives. I want to help out. How do they do so?
There's a long list on our website, which is Village Pantry Coalition website. But we need sweet breakfast cereals, sugar cereals all the time, grape grape or strawberry jelly, peanut butter, canned green beans, corn, vegetables, cans, canned tuna, canned chicken, ketchup, mustard, salsa, relish, pickles, pancake mix, syrup, cake mixes and frosting.
I always love when you guys throw that in there. That's been something I've always noticed in every interview I've ever done with anybody from the food pantry. You want cake and you want frosting.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Because,
I mean, here's the thing. It's also about people's mental well-being.
Right.
I mean, think about the stress of getting in your car and driving over to a food pantry where you might bump into a neighbor, but you need it. And that's the one thing that's always kind of stuck out to me. People think that they don't know somebody who needs this.
Right.
I guarantee you, one of your neighbors, somebody you talk to on a regular basis, somebody who lives on your block, uses this service. They're not going to sit there and tell you about it, but they do, and it's what's keeping them and their kids, who probably play with your kids, fed.
Right.
Yeah.
Sweets will always get you up. A little sugar always helps some people.
Well, that's how I get through this.
People are so thankful. They pull up in a car and they got 4 or 5 kids in the car, and I'll throw 2 or 3 boxes of sugar cereal in there, and they're like,
Kids lose it.
They want to have a party, And I tell the mom, please don't bring them back after they eat that cereal because,
Yeah.
you know what it does to children.
The website, by the way, is eppantry.org. I'm over here fact checking you. I'm helping you. Every time you say give it, you just go to the website. I'm like, well, I got to give the website.
Right,
eppantry.org if you want to see all this. I notice on this site, it gives so many details of what you guys have done. Right now it's got 110,000, just under 111,000 pounds of food distributed. One in 5 neighbors. 1 in 5 neighbors in Evergreen Park. 1 in 5 in having food insecurity at this time.
Right.
I mean, think about how many houses are on your block right now. All right. Let's say 10 on either side of the street on a normal block. You're telling me that there's 4 houses on your block right now, each and every one of you out there that are either watching the EP podcast on our YouTube channel or listening on one of the podcast players or at the eppodcast.com. 4 houses on your block need this food pantry.
There's poor people and people are hungry right in our neighborhood, and you have to realize that. I used to go around at Christmas time with a group of politicians, let me say, that, and we'd bring Christmas cheer to people's houses. We'd get their number through the schools, through the public schools. And I walked into a few homes where they had a dirt floor. I mean, really a dirt floor in Evergreen Park. I mean, there's poor people right around us. And I hope people will wake up, especially during Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I know they will give because Southside always gives.
And the thing is that people don't understand. Look, I've experienced it in my lifetime. Okay. Both people in the house out of work.
Right.
Because of layoffs.
Right.
And they still have the house. And if you look at the house and you see the clothes the children are wearing, you wouldn't even notice that the pantry's bare inside. All right. But those clothes were bought when they had a job. That house, it's going to take a long time for it to get foreclosed on. They're struggling and you may not even realize, and they live on your block. And that's why it's important, if you're able to help out, to help out right now, because you also never know when it's going to come around to you.
Right.
Yeah.
The politicians that are holding back on money for the poor is ridiculous because they're getting paid. Maybe we should stop paying them and they'll come together and help the poor because they're the ones suffering.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I understand that completely, and it's a great point. And again, the food pantry, folks, if you're interested in finding out what's going on over there, if you want to contribute, the phone number that I gave out earlier is on there. Everything you could possibly use is at eppantry.org. And Deacon Phelan, you're doing a great job over there. The folks over there are doing a great job over there. Before I let you go, I do have to ask you. Father Tom Hurley was just on the EP podcast. And I was curious what your thoughts were, because I think he mentioned you at one point during the interview, that you were pretty excited about some of the changes that he's made over there, and you're enjoying the masses and you're enjoying the ones that he's doing with the kids. Tell me a little bit about the impact he's made over there.
He's made a wonderful impact, and we're blessed to have Tom and blessed to have Ansley, our new music director. If you'd come to a 8:30 Mass on a Wednesday, you'd see what's happening at Holy Redeemer. We've done some painting in there. We've done some rearranging. Our music is top notch.
Oh yeah, it is.
The children are excited about their faith, and to me, it's a reawakening. it's a great parish. It's a great area. We've got great people, and it's a reawakening of the faith. And last Sunday at 10:30 Mass, we had to open up the choir loft for people to sit down. So that's a great thing. We have Mass every Sunday, so I hope they all come back this Sunday. And I'd love to open up the choir loft again, but
That's awesome.
we'll pray for that. And it's just a great product. If you put together great music and great preaching, great things happen. And it's really, I'm so happy to be involved in it.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.